Hey, Eagle fans! Your Statesboro Walmart is your one-stop shop for all your Georgia Southern football and game day needs. Pick up your GSU sports gear here. We have t-shirts, hats, tote bags, koozies, stadium bleacher seats, car spirit flags, wall pennants, beads, and more right here at the best prices in town. Also, don't forget we can handle all of your tailgating needs with our great food trays, baked goods, and fresh, high-quality meat, seafood, and chicken.
Walmart. Save money. Live better. Walmart.
On this week's show, the Georgia Southern baseball team moves into second place in the Sun Belt. The Eagle golf team wins another conference title, and we head to Paulson Stadium for the annual Blue-White game. All that and more as we welcome you inside the Eagles Nest. And welcome inside the Eagles Nest. I'm your host, Josh Aubrey, being joined by Mike Anthony, sports editor and Georgia Southern beat writer for the Statesboro Herald. And Mike, we had football this weekend. We have plenty of baseball. Let's start with baseball because that's the sport that's really in session right now. And the Georgia Southern Eagles entered last weekend's contest on the road at Arkansas Little Rock in third place. Came out with a sweep, are now in second place in the league. They lost a midweek game this week to College of Charleston, but let's keep it on the bright side. The 3-game sweep on the road, pretty impressive.
A huge 3 games to get there. Anytime you're winning on the road in conference, very difficult wins to get. The Eagles had to play comeback in the first 2 games of that series. A huge 3-run pinch hit home run by Ryan Cleveland in that first game propels the Eagles onto a big win. Cleveland added another 3-run homer later in the series. He's now up to 7 on the year. I think that power stroke's coming around just in time for Georgia Southern. With that sweep, it put a little bit of room between them and some of the middle of the pack. Georgia State's still out in front, but they've got a very tough gauntlet to run. They're in first, but their last 4 series are against the number 2, number 3, number 4, and number 5 teams currently in the Sun Belt standings. So the Eagles, they know what they need to do. They need to win the games in front of them. If they can win 2 out of 3 in these next couple series, they get Georgia State in Atlanta that final weekend of the year. If they can keep it within a game or 2, they'll be able to control their own destiny going forward into the Sun Belt tournament.
All right, a midweek game. Midweek games have been trouble for the Eagles. They were in this one, came back, took the lead, and then weren't able to hold on. Let's get out and see some highlights from their matchup with College of Charleston. The Georgia Southern Eagles hungry for a midweek victory as they host number 20 ranked College of Charleston. Charleston getting greedy in the first, runner on second, looking to swipe third. Chase Griffin comes up throwing with the strike for the out. Cougar pitcher Hayden McCutcheon dealing early on. He gets the inning-ending strikeout. The Eagles get something going in the second. Runners on for Will Hudgens. The hit and run works to perfection. That's going to put runners on the corners for Georgia Southern, but Charleston gets out of the jam. Hanford lines to second. Cougars then double up the runner at first to end the threat. In the third, the Eagle offense finally able to get on the board. They do it with one swing of Cody Adams' bat. This one up and away to right. The solo shot makes it 1-0 Georgia Southern. It will stay that way until the 5th. That's when the Cougars draw even. The runner on third for Tommy Richter, who gets the little infield chopper. That one's trouble, no play. Infield single makes it 1-1. Georgia Southern blows a 9th inning lead though. The Cougars with 4 in the 9th to win 7-6.
With more than 100 years of experience under one roof, Complete Car Care on 207 Northside Drive can do it all for your car or truck, gas or diesel, even hybrids, motors, tune-ups, front end, air conditioning, transmissions, electrical. Complete Car Care does it all. When others say no, Complete Car Care says yes. Come see what Michael and his team can do for you at Complete Car Care, 207 Northside Drive.
Up next for Georgia Southern, a 3-game series this weekend at home at J.I. Clements against Louisiana Monroe. And of course, Monroe, one of those teams right now at the bottom of the standings, trying to get that 8th seed because only 8 teams will be making it to Troy for the Sun Belt tournament. Well, a couple other things to get into. Of course, we do have spring football has just wrapped up. We also say congratulations to the Georgia Southern golf team. Go down and to Destin and pick up the Sun Belt Championship. Pretty nice there with Kim Corvu leading the way with low medalist.
And Georgia Southern, they wrapped up their tenure in the Southern Conference with a conference title last season. This year, much like some other teams have done, they show everybody in the Sun Belt that they're not to be messed with. The Georgia Southern golf team probably favored heading into this tournament. They were the only team ranked in the top 50 in the nation, but they went out and proved it. Rains kept them off the course on Sunday. They had to play 36 on Monday. Ended up being sort of a blessing in disguise. The Eagles got off to a hot start. They didn't have to sleep on it after one round. Had a great second round. A little bit of struggle in the third round, some tougher pins. The wind shifted, but everybody struggled, and you're allowed to struggle a little bit when you build a 20-stroke lead. So the Eagles, they get in there at 3 under par, a 16-stroke victory, now making their 3rd consecutive regional, their 6th in the last 7 years. They'll find out where they're headed on May 4th.
Congratulations to Carter Collins, Larry Mays, and the rest of the Eagles for pulling off that big victory, and now got the regionals coming up pretty soon. Well, we shift from the Sun Belt champions in golf to the Sun Belt champions in football. The last time we saw Georgia Southern on the field at Paulson Stadium with officials there was for the championship game where they took home the Sun Belt title. Now they were there for, it's the blue-white game, but I guess it's technically not as big a game as maybe some of these other ones that are full-fledged games. It's more of a scrimmage.
Well, don't tell Dr. Keel and Mr. Govell that, the honorary coaches for the blue-white game. Dr. Keel getting carried off after a decisive 6-0 victory. The points a little bit weird, but the main part was that the Eagles were back at Paulson Stadium in full pads. Maybe not full contact, at least not for the first stringers, but the fans had a chance to get out there, see what the 2015 Eagles might look like. So far, so good. The special teams look good. 6 out of 7 on field goals, some deep punts, kickoffs. Overall, the offense looking like they're going to throw it more. I know we've talked about that throughout the spring, really putting an emphasis on creating more of a passing threat this year. And then we saw, out of all people, Vegas Harley kind of becoming the new Izzy UU, doing everything that the team asks of him. He hasn't seen the field a ton. He moved from quarterback to safety, now back at quarterback and looking pretty good.
All right, well, let's get out there and hear what Coach Fritz and some of the players had to say about wrapping up the spring.
We love the preparation, being able to go out on the banks of Eagle Creek and just getting better each and every day. And I feel like everybody made a strive in the spring game, and everybody got better. You know, the coach did a great job of coaching up scheme, and it's an all-around good deal. The offensive line, you know, they've done a great job. You know, a bunch of young guys. You know, they came out every day in practice. They got better each day. I talked to every one of them at the practices, see what they did good, see what they did bad, and, you know, they improve on that every day. You know, it's always room for improvement, and, you know, we're just going to keep on preparing. You know, we get these rings today, and, you know, we're looking for another one next year.
I feel like we had a great spring overall. A lot of guys came out here and improved as individuals, which is going to help us improve as a team. So it was a great spring, a lot of fun. I feel like we got a lot better. You know, a lot of energy in the program right now, and so guys come out here flying around knowing we're going to have kind of a target on our back next season. Like this past year, we kind of slid under the radar into the conference. People picked us to finish towards the bottom, but now we're not going to slide up on anybody. Everybody's going to know what to expect when they play us, and we're going to have a target on our back. So that made guys work hard, I feel like.
You know, the thing that I was most happy about is we didn't have any injuries. So you're always concerned when you get out there. You know, football's a tough game to prepare for. You got to do some physical things, but you also want to keep guys out of harm's way so they're ready to play for you in the season. You know, we got a pretty mature ball club. They understand what we're doing right now in all 3 phases, and I think we made improvement on offense, defense, and the kicking game. I thought we threw the ball better. I was impressed with all of our quarterbacks throwing the ball and more accurate. Still got to firm up our protection with the offensive line. You know, but that was a big area we wanted to improve on offensively. So that's probably the biggest area that I saw improvement in. I feel like we signed a great class. They're going to be in here in June, and you know, with the NCAA, you know, relaxing their rules a little bit, we're able to do some things with them in the summer as far as, you know, in the classroom and a little bit out in the field as long as you don't have a football around. So those guys can get a little bit of a head start and be able to compete for playing time as true freshmen.
And that'll wrap it up for this week. For Mike Anthony, I'm Josh Aubrey. Thanks for joining us. Hope to see you again next week.